WHNZ AM, its staff, management, or parent company, Clear Channel Communications Incorporated.
This is the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Now, live in studio, your host, local real estate expert, Jamie Meloni.
Hi there, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show here on this President's Day. I hope if you're having a good day. Many of you are probably off, but it's business as usual for myself here with the radio show. If you're just tuning in, you'll find the show on every Mondays at noon. And if this is the first time listening to it, I invite you to please make this a favorite show of yours as I discuss a lot of real estate and finance topics in the news. And I'm also a real estate agent with Coldwell Banker Residential Real Estate in the Tampa Bay region. And I'm a foreclosure sales specialist and work with about 40 to 45 different banks and asset management companies. And altogether, I've sold about 1,000 properties in the last 7 years. So my show aims to become your information source for the Tampa Bay real estate market. Off the air, you can get me at my websites, tampabayradio.com. That's my show page, soon to be merged with my site, tampabayreo.com, where you'll find all of my listings as well as my upcoming listings. And also to all the home sellers out there in the marketplace, I offer a free home valuation if you text the word value to 813-760-8516. That is my cell phone number, and feel free to call it as well if you have any real estate needs within the Tampa Bay region. And again, free home valuation, text the word value to 813-760-8516. In studio today, I've got a couple of guests lined up for you. We got my real estate partner, Christina Griffin. She and I work very closely on the bank-owned properties at Coldwell Banker, as she is also a foreclosure sales agent in the Tampa Bay region. Christina, want to say hi to the audience?
Thanks for having me here, Jamie. I really appreciate it.
You're quite welcome. And also we have on the second part of the show, and he'll also be with us here during the first segment, chiming in as he feels necessary, John Skasevich with Coldwell Banker NRT. He's going to be discussing commercial real estate with us today as well.
Hey, Jamie. Glad to be here.
Did I get your name right?
You did perfect.
Yeah, it's. I'm looking at the spelling of this thing, and it does not. You don't say it the way it's spelled. Skasevich.
Skasevich.
Interesting. What nationality is that?
That's Polish.
Polish. Interesting. Yep. So, are you a fan of the Polish teams in the Olympics, or what's going on with that?
Yeah, I have divided loyalties. Obviously, I'm a fan of the Team USA, and they had a great weekend. Mm-hmm. But yeah, sure, I root for the Team Poland as well.
It was a good weekend. Did you happen to catch the USA hockey game?
Oh yeah.
I unfortunately didn't get to see it live. I mean, I heard about all the drama after. I guess the game started like at 3:00 in the morning or something. And so to catch it live, you had to get up early in the morning, I believe. But I watched the replay on it at 8:00 that night, and it was quite an amazing game. So it was very impressive. So also, what about these speed skating suits? Have you been following that? That's an interesting turn of events with the speed skating team. What do you think of that?
Yeah, it looks like somebody's been completely coated in hot wax, but yet there was some little glitch with the Team USA uniforms. Is that?
Well, they hired Under Armour to basically redesign these suits, and it was a completely a major event within the company. They went through all this engineering testing and to produce these suits, and they've been doing very dismal in the Olympics and the speed skating events so far, and now they've switched back to their other suits, and they've gotten basically the same results, which is probably a testament to Under Armour. So I'm sure they're probably quite happy to say, whatever, guys, you guys just you're outmatched this year, so. Just interesting, I thought that was kind of a cop out, that they were trying to blame the suits, and I can't imagine those having that type of result on their overall performance at the Olympics. So wanted to open up the segment. I wanted to talk with Christina. She is a very accomplished real estate agent, in the basically in the entire national market. I sell a lot of real estate, but she outsells me 2-to-1. So I've sold about 1,000 properties. How many have you sold?
I think about 4,000.
Yeah. So, and on a daily basis, I sell one, she sells 2 or 3. But it's amazing what she's accomplished because she's been through so much over this last year. And Christina, you were diagnosed with cancer over this past year. And in addition, you're a mother of two. You have a family. I myself, I'll brag about how much real estate I sell. I'm a single guy. I have nothing to do but sell real estate. You, on the other hand, outsell me 2 to 1, 3 to 1, and you have a family, and now you're going through this medical situation. And so I want you to tell the audience a little bit about your story and as how they can help support others with this situation.
Thanks, Jamie. I have a blog. It's called livingforacure.com, and I started that more as therapy for myself when I was diagnosed in June with uterine cancer. It's actually called endometrial cancer, and I found out that I had it due to the fact my husband and I were trying to get pregnant and have more children, so a fertility doctor found it. So I've gone through a series of treatments through Moffitt, and we have had tons of pathology results, and it's just been a complete battle for the last almost year. But I'll tell you, it's actually changed my life so much. I've changed my eating completely. I found out all of the negative things that are in our food. I don't eat white flour, white sugar, processed foods, and I really feel like it's completely changed my life. And I'm hoping to be cancer-free this coming year after I have surgery through Moffitt.
Yeah, and you were very fortunate. I mean, had you not been trying to have an additional child, this would have went on for some time, as a matter of fact, right?
Most women do not find out they have the kind of cancer I have until they're stage 4, because it does not start affecting your other organs until that time frame, and it goes then to your ovaries, and it's fatal. So I'm very fortunate. I'm grade 1, stage 1. I have one of the best doctors at Moffitt, Thomas Wenham. He is head of research for their oncology. So just it's been a really hard road, but I have tons of support with family and several thousand followers on my blog already who give me lots of support.
And you have the, your Facebook page as well, and your website, both livingforacure.com, and you put up a lot of good information on that site. And, also you were very involved with, within the, working out and things of that nature. I know you're constantly trying to get me to go to these, these fitness programs. And what's this new one that you're on now? The Orange Theory, I think it is?
Well, it's called Orange Theory, and I'll tell you, it's going to be for the long-term duration. It's an amazing workout, 1 hour, high energy. You have a heart rate monitor on, and I usually burn 400 to 500 calories, and it's just completely motivating. My husband burned over 700 calories this weekend. I'm looking forward to you coming with me.
Yeah, I know. You've bought me a membership, and I'll go. I mean, you've paid for this, pass for me to go. But it's a different type of membership or a gym, right? I mean, they hook you up to some type of monitoring system, and it shows up on the screen how many people have burned so many calories or what?
Correct. You start about 26 minutes of cardio on the treadmill, and it's high elevation. You're changing to help your heart rate go up as quick as possible and recover. And the next segment you spend on weights. So Orange Theory is throughout the country. I would really recommend you to Google them and try a class. They do free classes for your first time, and you won't be sorry. It's changed my life.
It seems like it's kind of like a group personal training sessions in a sense, so there's always somebody working with you, right?
Correct. You have professional trainers. They're very motivating, high energy music, and there's usually 20 to 30 people in each class, and it's not like aerobics. It's just an amazing workout. I've never had a better one in my life.
And what always amazes me about you is with, the stress of, the family life, your medical situation, and the stress of, this business that, you and I are both in, that you maintain a positive attitude and you're always cheery. Meanwhile, something happens, that irritates me and I'm in a bad mood for 2 hours and you don't want to be around me. So, I mean, how do you maintain such a, positive outlook on things?
Well, we won't get into my Christian outlooks on the radio, but God helps a lot. And I seem to always have some cause I'm working on. I am on the board for Miles for Moffitt and the Breast Cancer Walk in October, and Coldwell Banker has an awesome charity division called Coldwell Banker Cares. So I'm always working with some type of nonprofit to help in our community, and that really keeps me focused.
And I also see you're involved with Metropolitan Ministries and helping the homeless as well. And, you know, you find this time that I can't seem to find. And usually after, you know, a 12-hour day, I just want to go hide somewhere and be left alone. You somehow go on to other things. And it always amazes me, and I wish I had your attitude and ability to bounce back from the stresses of the foreclosure sales business that you and I are in. So I've always commended you on that.
I really appreciate it. If I didn't have the other focuses, I really, truly, I wouldn't be able to get through all the hecticness in our work and our day-to-day. So I would love to invite you to come feed the homeless, and it would be a huge change for you, I promise.
Yeah, not one of my specialties. I mean, being philanthropic and stuff, you know, I'm kind of the go to work, go home, leave me alone. I had too many issues, too much stress going on throughout the day. I just want to be left alone. But, you know, and if you've listened to my show before, you've heard me talk about the different stresses and challenges that, you know, that real estate agents that specialize in foreclosure sales experience on a daily basis. So if you're just tuning in, you've been listening to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show here on 1250 Wins, WHNZ. Coming back from the break, we'll be talking more with Christina Griffin on some it's a Fannie Mae promotion, which is one of the clients that we work with. There's a new promotion out there with Fannie Mae properties, and also some of the dilemmas you need to be aware with when buying properties at auction, where a lot of these properties end up going. So please stay tuned. Hi, Jamie Meloni here, your host of the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show here on 1250 Wins WHNZ. The goal of the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show is to be your source of real estate information in the Tampa Bay market. I've been in business for 7 years now and have sold nearly 1,000 homes in and around the Tampa Bay market. I work with 45 different banks and asset management companies selling foreclosed properties and have extensive knowledge on buying these foreclosed properties and want to help you understand opportunities in the marketplace as well as common pitfalls I see many buyers as well as realtors make each and every day. I'm excited about this new show and being able to share my experiences and knowledge as well as my contacts with you, my audience. Each week, the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show will feature information on the real estate market you need to know to position yourself as an educated player in the business, as well as feature real estate professionals from around the Tampa Bay region. You'll hear a lot about HUD government-owned properties, as well as Fannie Mae-owned properties and the different programs they have available to help make you a homeowner. My show aims to promote home ownership as well as responsible real estate investing and will highlight real estate success stories from in and around the region. If you'd like to be part of the show or have a real estate success story you'd like me to highlight on the air, or if you have general questions you'd like me to discuss on air, I invite you to reach out to me at tampabayradio.com. Just fill out the contact form or email me and give me a call at 813-760-8516. Again, 813-760-8516. I or one of my assistants will be in touch with you to discuss your real estate needs. Please don't hesitate to contact me. The real estate market is a fast-paced, constantly changing arena, and my show is your source of what you need to know to come out ahead. Again, reach out to me at tampabayradio.com or 813-760-8516. I invite all real estate professionals that are interested in promoting their business and expertise on air to please reach out to me. Show contributor openings are available and will fill up fast. Whether you are involved in lending, title, building, sales, basically anything tied to the housing market, I want to hear from you. Become part of the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show and grow your business with mine on air. Again, I've been in business 7 years and have sold nearly 1,000 homes in the Tampa Bay region, and I can help you position yourself as an industry leader. Take a moment to visit my website at tampabayradio.com and be sure to like my Facebook page at facebook.com/Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show to keep up to date with show developments each and every week. Thanks for tuning in.
Since opening its doors 120 years ago, Stewart Title Company has established a lasting legacy of providing professional title services. Even other title insurance companies know Stewart Title Company. because they do their actual underwriting for them. Stewart is here to provide a wide range of resources to help improve any real estate transaction. To learn more about protecting yourself against hidden title hazards that may threaten your financial investment, call Melissa Stoddard at 813-431-8025. That's 813-431-8025.
Thinking about buying a home? Find out how the HUD Home Store can help you. Visit HUDHomestore.com. Look at HUD homes available for sale near you or nationwide. Why HUD Home Store? HUD will pay up to 3% of the buyer's closing cost. The price of the home is based on an FHA as-is appraisal, which is already completed, saving you an average of $400. And there is an owner-occupant priority bidding period during the first 30 days. Want to know more? Visit HUDHomestore.com.
You're listening to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show with local expert Jamie Meloni. Now, here's Jamie.
Hi again, everybody, and thanks for staying tuned in to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show here on 1250 Wins WHNZ. You'll find this show on every Monday at noon, and I invite you to please make this a favorite show of yours, as this show aims to become your information source for the Tampa Bay real estate market. If you're just tuning in, we've been talking with Christina Griffin, fellow real estate agent at Coldwell Banker, and in the second half of the show, we'll be talking with John Skevich. I can say that right. It's such a difficult name.
Skitsevich.
Skitsevich. With a Coldwell Banker commercial NRT, and we'll be discussing the commercial real estate market. But I wanted to continue this segment in discussing, with Christina Griffin. And, we were talking, last week about, we sell foreclosed properties, and we see a lot of them end up going to auction. As a matter of fact, one source of real estate listings is auction.com, where bank properties that do not sell will show up on the site, but it's a completely different scenario versus purchasing them on the open market. And you want to tell the audience about the situation that you had just last week?
Well, let me tell you real quick first. A lot of the banks, when the properties are occupied or they have issues, they also put them on auction.com. So I had an occupied property that had extensive code violations that was put on auction.com and sold. The buyer sold. They closed on it, and about a week later they sent an email wanting to know why there were tons of code violations and liens and judgments against the property. And the title company simply replied with, "Please read your contract. We are not required per your contract to disclose any of these issues to you."
Yeah, and I think it confuses a lot of buyers because they hear within the general real estate disposition of foreclosed properties that they get clear title, that these things are, remedied, and they are. If you're buying through a real estate agent and a property that was advertised on the MLS, you're going to get clear title, and if it is not able to be cleared, you're going to get notification, and the bank is going to either ask you to sign a hold harmless, where you were basically acknowledging, the situation and agreeing to take the property as is, or you cancel the contract, and the bank has to remedy the situation through whatever legal channels or means are necessary. But when they send them to auction, that's a completely different scenario.
Well, what I would recommend too is to do your own title search through an outside title company. A lot of the problems with auction.com arise because us as real estate agents have no contact with the buyer to be able to disclose anything to them. So if you have an ability to use an agent through auction.com, some of the auctions allow you, please do. It will not cost you any more. And also do your due diligence and research and read your contracts, because this particular buyer now has over $30,000 in liens on the property that they weren't aware of.
And this is something that we deal with on a daily basis on how to remedy these situations. But when you buy these properties, you don't have the connections and the contacts that we have, and sometimes you're just going to be stuck with basically having to let the property go, and you're going to be at a loss on these properties. I will say, which city was that had that?
That was actually in the city of Tampa.
City of Tampa. City of Tampa is fairly good at releasing liens once the property is in compliance. If you reach out to the city attorney after the property is brought into compliance, a lot of times that they'll only charge you for hard costs related to the remedying of the situation. When I say hard costs, I mean actual costs expended by the city. Maybe they had to mow the property versus a daily fine, which would be considered a soft cost. And, again, a lot of the properties that end up on auction.com are the properties that did not sell on the market. They are the properties that have some sort of problem. So you need to be very careful with properties that you find on auction.com. And you said a lot of them are occupied these days, correct?
A lot of banks, especially Bank of America and even Chase, they're now, instead of having to go through all of the eviction headaches, they're immediately listing properties on auction.com, Genesis Auction, Hudson and Marshall. There's several others that they're putting them out to the public and having that particular buyer take care of all the headaches involving the eviction. Yeah,
that's been a big swing in the industry over the last year that we've seen Chase do. They are sending pretty much everything to auction, and they come back to the general real estate market sometimes, and then they go back to the auction as well. And we're seeing the other servicers do this as well, and it's kind of I guess a lot of it has to do when we talk with a lot of the banks, some new regulations that have come out, as a result of the Dodd-Frank bill that came out in 2010 with the way they account for, real estate that they own. And that has a lot to do with it as well.
And I wouldn't be scared of the auctions. Just make sure you do your due diligence, because there's some really amazing deals out there. And use a realtor if you can. That'll help you out a lot.
Yeah, and be aware of there's going to be a 5% buyer premium that's added to auction.com properties. And I think all auctions do that as well. And what was that big auction company that was out years ago? And I remember going to a ballroom-style auction with them.
Hudson and Marshall.
There was another one, though, that was out there, and it was all across the country, and I'm drawing a blank on their name right now. Have you seen them around?
Well, I think you're actually referring to auction.com. They changed their name a while back. I don't remember their name, but they used to do large ballroom settings.
They may have been a name change.
So they were acquired. I don't remember the company, but they were acquired a few years ago, and they completely went to the online format.
I can remember attending a real estate auction several years ago, and it was quite an exciting event.
Mm-hmm.
That you knew about the properties before they came up, and I was interested in one, so I went there with the intent on bidding one. But you got your people in the audience that are basically yelling and screaming. People raise their hand and they're trying to create a sense of excitement. So it was a fun experience, and it lasted all weekend long. And but that's not the situation now. They are online, and you need to do your own due diligence. Make sure you get a title search and read your contracts very closely as well. I want to talk about a new promotion with our Fannie Mae properties. Fannie Mae is offering 3.5% closing cost assistance on all offers submitted between now and March 31st, given that they close by the end of May. And these are for owner-occupants with properties submitting offers during their first look period. And you'll find all this on homepath.com. That's Fannie Mae's foreclosure site where you'll find all their properties, and I and Christina are listing brokers for Fannie Mae. And again, 3.5% closing cost assistance is available now on all offers that are in that first look period. And that first look period is the initial 20 days a property is put on the market, whereby only owner-occupants are the eligible bidders and investors are restricted at that time. And again, as long as the assistance is requested with the initial offer by March 31st and closes by May 31st, you can qualify for this 3.5% down payment assistance. So this is a new promotion. And so I invite you over to, my website or our website, TampaBayREO.com, to find our Fannie Mae properties. And also you can find all of Fannie Mae properties on homepath.com. If you're just tuning in, you've been listening to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show here on 1250 Wins WHNZ. You'll find this show on every Mondays at noon, and my show aims to become your information source for the Tampa Bay real estate market. Please stay tuned. In the second half of the show, we're going to be talking with John Skasevich of Coldwell Banker NRT about the commercial real estate market, and he's got a lot of great information that I'm sure that you'll want to be to know. So please stay tuned. We'll be back in a moment.
Do you know what that sound is? That's your new digital marketing department. And that'll be your new web designer. And that's Haibu, where these experts are joined by many more, from web designers to search marketing specialists, who work hard to get your business noticed online and on mobile. Best of all, Haibu can do it all for you, or give you the tools to do it yourself. To find out more, go to Haibu.com. That's HIBU.com or call 877-938-HIBU. Oh, that'll be your next new customer. HIBU, made for business.
Looking for high-quality supplements at affordable prices? Visit Gulf Coast Nutrition, located in Palm Harbor at the corner of Alternate 19 and Alderman Road, in the Publix Shopping Plaza. You'll find all your favorite brands, like Renew Life, Doctor's Best, Blue Bonnet, and many, many more. You'll also find nutritional lab testing and many physician brand supplements, such as Metagenics, as well as your favorite sports nutrition supplements, all at competitive prices. At Gulf Coast Nutrition, you get personalized service from a knowledgeable staff. Be sure to sign up for the free rewards program, available in-store at the corner of Alternate 19 and Alderman, or online at gulfcoastnutrition.com. Call 727-754-2900. Ready for a healthier you? Listen to Gulf Coast Nutrition with Dr. V and Brenda B to find out what supplements may be right for you. Gulf Coast Nutrition with Dr. V and Brenda B every Wednesday from 11:30 until noon on 1250 Wins WHNZ.
The stock market may see all-time highs right now, but Wall Street is split on where the market is headed next. And if you're retired or even thinking about retiring, you don't want to be taking on too much risk. You need to talk to David Graham of Graham Capital. He's a fiduciary, which means he works for you, the retirement guy in the Tampa Bay area. David is helping me with my retirement plans, and you can trust him to do the same for you. Call him at 1-800-808-5009. 1-800-808-5009.
This report brought to you by Hammermill Paper. When you want to look your best on paper, step up to the professional quality of Hammermill Color Copy Digital Paper. You'll get sharper images, brilliant colors, and professional-looking results. Hammermill Color Copy Digital is the difference between blending in and standing out.
From the Bright House Networks Traffic Center, earlier crash on 75 northbound near State Road 60 is all off to the side, but traffic is still pretty slow getting by. Also, we're still seeing the delays on 275 southbound between I-4 and Howard and Armenia. And if you're traveling westbound on I-4, expect to run into some slow traffic if you are approaching 275. Besides that, traffic is up to speed on US 19, 301, 41, and State Road 60. When you see traffic problems, call the Abrahamson and Uterwick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
1250 Winds Weather Center forecasts. A warm afternoon for the Bay Area. Lots of sunshine, staying dry today. Very little cloud cover, if at all. Up to 73, Brandon and Lakeland, 75 for Zephyr Hills, Tampa 71. Still a little cooler at the beaches. Clearwater 67. To the south, though, warming up 75 degrees. Bradenton. Tonight's lows in the mid to lower 50s. We'll see mid-upper 70s Tuesday, upper 70s Wednesday, and probably a few low 80s on Thursday. Going to say sunny for the most part and dry all the way till Friday, and then a 30% chance of rain. We'll see that 30% chance into the weekend. 1250 Winds, WHNZ.
You're listening to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show with local expert Jamie Meloni. Now, here's Jamie.
Hi again, everybody. Happy President's Day, and thanks for staying tuned in to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show here on 1250 Winds WHNZ. You'll find this show on every Mondays at noon, and I invite you to please make this a favorite show of yours, as my show aims to become your information source for the Tampa Bay real estate market. Off air, you can get me at my websites, tampabayradio.com. That's my show page, and soon to be merged with my listings site, tampabayreo.com, where you'll find my and all my team's listings, as well as upcoming foreclosed properties prior to hitting the market in our upcoming properties section. So I invite you over to those websites off the air. And to all the potential home sellers in the market, I invite you to text the word value to my cell phone, 813-760-8516. Again, 813-760-8516 for a free home valuation. And you may be surprised as to what your home is actually worth, especially if you bought it in the last couple of years, as we've seen values in the Tampa Bay region increase anywhere between 10 and 20%, depending on where you're at in the community. So I want to open up this segment talking with John Skasevich of Coldwell Banker. He is a commercial real estate agent. John, how are you doing?
Doing great, Jamie. It's an honor to be sitting across from the two Energizer bunnies of the residential real estate business, Jamie and Christina.
Thank you very much. Well, you're quite accomplished in the commercial real estate market as well, and you've been in business since, what, back in 1981, was it?
1981, yeah. I started when I was 13 years old.
And you were in residential beforehand, right?
I actually, when I started, I was 23 years old, and I spent the first 6 months doing residential real estate.
And what drew you into commercial real estate so quickly? How did that happen?
I saw a different side of the business. I just became acquainted with a couple of small income properties and small land deals, and I thought that's where my passion is. That's where my heart is.
And tell the audience a little bit, about your education and your CCIM. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, when I was in my college years, I thought that I was going to be a restaurateur. And so I got my training in the hospitality management side of the business, and I quickly realized that I think honestly the waiters are making more money than most people managing restaurants, but that wasn't going to be a permanent career for me, and I got introduced to the real estate brokerage side, and over the years this is basically all I've been doing since 1981. I've attained the CCIM designation, which is Certified Commercial Investment Member of the National Association.
And that's
of Realtors.
quite a prestigious designation. I mean, just to get that, I mean, you've got to go through 3 different courses. Am I correct? Right?
5.
It's 5.
Yep.
And how many? Each course is like a week long, basically like a full-time job for the week. Am I correct?
Yep, that's right. I traveled for each of those. Went out of town, took the week, did the course, and it was a great experience. Every aspect of the number crunching side of the business, and a lot of focus on the marketing as well.
And a lot of real estate agents that specialize in commercial do not have that designation as well. Am I correct?
No, that's right.
And it doesn't take much for anybody to get a real estate license and call yourself a commercial real estate agent. Unfortunately, the barriers to entry are quite minimal, and so to have that designation, I think, speaks volumes as to your abilities.
Well, you know how it goes. When you do transactions, you learn, and when you do a lot of transactions, you learn a lot. And over the years, I've been blessed. I've done a lot of business in the Tampa Bay market, and I love it here.
And I myself was considering, getting a CCIM designation, and in looking over it, it's basically what I studied in my 4-year degree at USF, with finance, and it's like a 4-year degree all pushed into this, 5-course period. So it's a lot of information coming at you in a short amount of time. So, John, tell us a little bit about, what you're seeing with regard to the commercial real estate market in the Tampa Bay region. Is it appreciating, depreciation? How's it in relation to residential?
Well, like the economy as a whole, we went off the cliff as we fell into the Great Recession, but we've recovered. I think it's fair to say we've recovered almost 100% from the trough in the market right now. Occupancy levels, retail, office, industrial, they're all back to what I would consider normal. The view going forward is that the market is going to be stable. We have seen a lot of foreclosures in the commercial side, but nothing near the volume of properties that you guys are accustomed to deal with.
Foreclosures are handled differently, though, within the commercial arena versus the residential arena. In a residential, you foreclose and then they dump them on the market. But with a commercial foreclosure, the asset managers, the banks, get more involved in the process. Am I correct?
You are correct. They take the property through a much different kind of an analysis to maximize the value.
And they get in there and actually kind of take over a management role with you to kind of bring the business back to life. And with a residential property, that doesn't happen. They just foreclose and then that's it. Am I correct about that?
You are, and in a lot of cases, I'm finding they're foreclosing out the tenants, and we're delivering vacant space, basically a fixer-upper kind of a property to the market. But in some circumstances, they are taking over the ownership and trying to maximize the value, like I said.
And you said that you think that the foreclosure activity is definitely on a downward trend, though, with commercials. And I can remember years ago when I first got into residential foreclosures, I was suckered into a number of different, memberships and groups and clubs, about the coming commercial foreclosure wave. And I thought, okay, this will be a great, add-on to my business. It never materialized.
Yeah, well, there were some barriers to entry in commercial property from the beginning. You couldn't just go and get, a loan to purchase commercial real estate with the same ease that investors had on the residential side. So there was never that volume of foreclosures. People had, generally they had better property. And so if they could survive the downturn, they found a way to fix their own problems if they had cash flow issues.
Mm-hmm. And there's so many differences, though, between commercial and residential that I don't think a lot of people are aware of. You hear always within the residential, the duty to disclose, you have to disclose. But in commercial, that's completely different.
It is.
You don't have the duty to disclose as a seller. The moniker caveat emptor still controls that area of real estate, and that is basically, where you, as an investor, buyer of commercial real estate, you're held to a higher standard, and so you're expected to do your own due diligence, and you cannot hold a seller legally liable for not disclosing that the property is sitting on an environmental hazard, for instance, that they're well aware of. But in your practice, what is the general rule of practice, though? Do sellers like to disclose just because they feel it's the right thing to do, or is it really how it's practiced out there?
Generally speaking, what we try to do with the straight up deals, not bank owned, is we try to have an educated seller lay out their honest disclosure about the property, and most of the time, I'm going to say 99% of the time, sellers don't really have something to hide. But regardless of that disclosure, the buyer, our contracts are structured so that a buyer would have basically a free look at the property, a due diligence period where they can do any tests that they want to do. At the end of that due diligence process, they say yes or they say no, and they go to closing, and that's it.
And the inspection periods within a commercial property, they can be quite, drawn out. You have the phase 1, phase 2 studies. And
it depends on the complexity of the property. It can be I've seen as short as 2 weeks. I've seen as long as 90 days, 120 days. If a property is going to require structural review, any kind of a zoning or a variance, anything of that nature, sometimes people need to confirm that they have swift mud permits for drainage from the property. A lot of detailed aspects of the inspection that they can't control the timing of on some of those.
Okay. And so do you see, I'm drawing a blank here on, what do you have in the way of, types of inspections? Describe like a phase 1 inspection. What is involved in that?
Sure. Now you're speaking about really strictly the environmental aspect of the property. And a phase 1 environmental assessment is really just to look at history. The environmentalist will look at any reports or complaints that have been filed in the area. There's a gas station down the street that had a leaking tank, things of that nature, or the guy in the back, what is now a simple industrial building used to be a dry cleaning processing plant, things like that. So those would pop up, and that is generally fairly quick to get it.
And what is like phase 2, and is there a phase 3 as well, or is it just phase 1, phase 2, or how does that work?
In the lingo, a phase 2 audit is where somebody has either done a phase 1 and found areas that need to be investigated, or they already knew those issues existed, and so they go straight to a phase 2 where they're basically taking groundwater samples or dirt and testing it. They might be testing aspects of the building, looking for asbestos-containing materials, that type of thing. Phase 3, I don't really hear that expression used much, but suffice to say, at that point, you're cleaning it up. You're actually doing something to clean up the environmental condition, whatever that may be.
And I think that's one of the challenges of being in the commercial real estate arena is these deals can take so long to come to fruition. To lose a deal after going through all this, and I mean, as we don't get paid until the property closes. I mean, it can be very devastating, to a commercial real estate agent. Am I correct?
Oh yeah, I have a closing on Friday. Transaction's been pending for 14 months. And the delay is caused strictly by permitting processes.
Interesting. If you're just tuning in, you're listening here to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show here on 1250 WINS WHNZ. We've been talking with John Skasevich of Coldwell Banker Commercial about the commercial real estate market here in the Tampa Bay region. So please stay tuned here through this break. Coming back, we'll be talking with him more about commercial real estate here in our area. Hi, Jamie Meloni here, your host of the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show. I want to thank each and every one of you for listening to my show on 1250 WINS WHNZ. The Tampa Bay real estate market is very undersupplied, and we need inventory. There is strong demand from both first-time buyers as well as large investment groups, and many properties are seeing multiple offers due to the lack of inventory in our area to satisfy this demand. As a matter of fact, the Tampa Bay region is at a 7-year low in available inventory, and demand is at its strongest since the market's peak in 2006. This demand has pushed up values in our area as high as 20% in some areas year over year, and you may be surprised what your home is currently worth. I am offering all my listeners a free home valuation if you text the word value to my cell phone at 813-760-8516. Again, text the word value to 813-760-8516, and I will send you a complimentary and detailed home valuation within 3 business days of speaking to you. Please reach out to me. I've sold nearly 1,000 homes in the Tampa Bay region and have been in business for almost 7 years now. I have the market knowledge and experience to help you sell your home, whether big or small, for top price. Don't put one of your biggest investments into the wrong hands. There are many inexperienced agents in the market, and the wrong decision can cost you thousands in a poorly marketed and poorly negotiated deal. Trust your sale to one of the area's top listing agents and contact me today. In addition to having one of the top listing agents in the area representing your home, you can rest assured that you have the area's #1 real estate brand, Coldwell Banker, in your corner as well. Coldwell Banker is an internationally recognized real estate brand and properly markets your home across 500 websites, and we also utilize print advertising as well as all the social networking tools and sites to get your home exposed to a broad audience. Please reach out to me today for a free home valuation. Just text the word value to 813-760-8516. Again, 813-760-8516. Or stop by my website at www.tampabayradio.com and fill out my contact form, and I will get in touch with you as soon as possible. You can also find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show. Just click on like to receive show updates, as well as a feed of all my listings and current real estate news articles. You can also post questions on the page that I and the audience can discuss. Thanks for tuning in, and be back in a moment.
Since opening its doors 120 years ago, Stewart Title Company has established a lasting legacy of providing professional title services. Even other title insurance companies know Stewart Title Company because they do their actual underwriting for them. Stewart is here to provide a wide range of resources to help improve any real estate transaction. To learn more about protecting yourself against hidden title hazards that may threaten your financial investment, call Melissa Stoddard at 813-431-8025. That's 813-431-8025.
Are you looking for a deal on a foreclosed property? If so, please stop by my website, tampabayreo.com. My team and I work with 45 different bank and asset management company sellers and have hundreds of foreclosure listings in the area, and we are a HUD and Fannie Mae listing office as well. In addition, get a sneak peek at many of our pre-listed properties in the upcoming REO properties section. Let our experience help you get a deal today. Visit tampabayreo.com.
Thinking about buying a home? Find out how the HUD Home Store can help you. Visit HUDHomestore.com. Look at HUD homes available for sale near you or nationwide. Why HUD Home Store? HUD will pay up to 3% of the buyer's closing cost. The price of the home is based on an FHA as-is appraisal, which is already completed, saving you an average of $400. And there is an owner-occupant priority bidding period during the first 30 days. Want to know more? Visit HUDHomestore.com.
You're listening to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show with local expert Jamie Meloni. Now, here's Jamie.
Hi again, everybody, and thanks for staying tuned in to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show here on 1250 Wins WHNZ. You'll find my show on every Mondays at noon, and this show aims to become your information source for the Tampa Bay real estate market. If you're just tuning in, we've been talking with John Skasevich of Coldwell Banker Commercial NRT about the commercial real estate market in the Tampa Bay region. So, John, tell me, where are these sources of listings? I know with, residential real estate, we just go to the local MLS and everything's in there. With commercial, that's not really so. Tell me some differences in where you find these listings.
Well, where I find new product, new listings, is basically my sphere of influence, people I know, people I've done business with in the past. And then I find that one deal tends to lead to another. When I do a transaction in one area, generally speaking, through my marketing push and through the results, other people in that area start contacting me.
But where are the like for the general community though? Where do they go to find like the lease opportunities, the buildings for sale? Where are the MLSs of the commercial real estate markets?
I understand. Yeah, sometimes that's the most frustrating aspect in comparing residential to commercial, because the residential market is so transparent. MLS pushes data out everywhere. On the commercial side, there are really a few backbone resources. One is loopnet.com. LOOPNET.com. The other is a company called Catalyst. In the local area, the Commercial Association of Realtors, the Florida Gulf Coast Commercial Association of Realtors, uses that vendor, Catalyst, to supply the backbone for their commercial information exchange. Those two basically listing aggregators push that information out to newspaper websites, broker websites. So if you look at those, you'll find it all, generally speaking.
But do you have, as a realtor, when you're working with a buyer, for instance, I mean, you got to utilize all these different sources of databases to find information. I myself, I don't specialize in commercial real estate, but I always think of just going to LoopNet. But I mean, what percentage of the listings that are out there for sale would you say are on LoopNet? Do you think that covers 50-60% of the market, more or less? What?
Honestly, a lot of brokers would think it would be 90. The truth is, it's probably half.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm representing a buyer or a tenant, I'm doing searches in LoopNet. I'm doing searches in the Catalyst system, the CCIM system, and also the commercial section of the regular MLS.
And I think that's a very important point to make to the audience, anybody out here who's needing commercial real estate assistance. I mean, you want to work with a professional that, utilizes all the sources of information out there. And these things cost money, right? I mean, there's memberships involved, and a lot of realtors don't want to use these other systems because of the fees involved. And then you being a, leading Coldwell Banker NRT commercial agent, you'll have access to these different databases. So I think that's an important point to make to people out there in the real estate community. So if you're looking for any type of commercial real estate assistance, and I can put you in touch with John, please reach out to me, off the air. You can get me through my website, tampabayradio.com. I have a contact form there, or just give me a call on my cell, 813-760-8516. I get 813-760-8516. John, now you had some listings that you wanted to talk about a little bit. Tell me about some of the opportunities we have out there.
Sure. There are a number of different things available right now, and my work carries me to a lot of different geographic markets in the Tampa Bay community. One property that I think is really interesting right now is on the west end of Central Avenue in St. Petersburg. It's a multi-tenant commercial property, retail downstairs with 2 apartments upstairs. Price is $500,000. It's under $100 a square foot. There's some vacancy right now, so it might really appeal to somebody that wants to establish a business out there and collect rent from the other tenants.
Okay.
Great location, great visibility. Then kind of the other end of the spectrum in downtown Clearwater, I've just listed an office suite in the Drew Hill Professional Center. It's kind of a handyman special, owner financing, that kind of thing. Just under 2,000 square feet of space, $135,000.
Very good, very good. And so, you also specialize in work with buyers and stuff. Do you have a certain specialty that you like to work with mostly, or do you work with buyers and sellers in all different areas of commercial real estate?
My clientele over the years has led me into a pretty broad variety of deal types and locations. If I get my preference, I like to work with legitimate investors, people who are looking for cash flow producing real estate. Mm-hmm. That's where my passion is. And
when we talk about, investments and stuff, you hear terms like, cap rate and IRR thrown around. What is, the kind of the general, rate of return that investors in the Tampa Bay market are looking for in say the office market in the Tampa Bay region for cap rate? I mean, what are we seeing right now?
The returns on commercial investment real estate, the historic returns, you figure 10%, okay, and that's appreciation and cash flow. So that has held true for 60 years. In the market right now, we're seeing really high quality, coupon clipping quality investments trading in the 6.5–7.5% cap rate, which is really low. Mm-hmm. But compared to other investment alternatives in the market, it still puts real estate
Well, yeah, I mean, a 10% rate of return is a great rate of return. I mean, versus maybe what out there, a CD, which gets you a 1%, and so commercial real estate. I mean, you obviously you've got to learn the business. If you're an investor out there, and so if you're considering commercial real estate as an investment resource, I invite you to reach out to John here at a Coldwell Banker Commercial, and I can put you in touch with him. He's been in business 30 years. He understands all areas of the commercial real estate market, from the office, apartment, industrial, land. So, just reach out to us and I'll put you in touch with him, and you can get me again off the air, tampabayradio.com, through my contact form, and my cell phone, which is 813-760-8516. So we've got a few minutes left here on this, semi-holiday. Christina, what do you got planned? You've been getting some texts coming in, as I have, from the people listening to my show, but your texts are a little bit of a different quality. Who's texting you?
My kids, they are off school today, and they're very anxious to do something fun with Mom. So probably Chuck E. Cheese or the movies. So.
And you said the state fair as well?
Well, the state fair is going on today. It's the last day. I don't believe I'm going to get there, thank goodness, but it's a great event.
Yeah, there's been a lot of the state fair's been in the news as of the last couple of weeks here. I guess they've been having some problems with crime and disputes down there. So I myself have never been personally to a state fair. Growing up in West Virginia, we used to kind of say, if you ever are feeling down about yourself, just kind of go to the state fair and look around. So I think that kind of stigmatized me for going out into the kind of the state fair. See that's kind of backwoods, But I don't know. I'm in Florida. It's a little...
Hey, well, the Strawberry Festival is coming up, and I'll make sure to bring you if you would like a state fair experience, Jamie.
Yeah, I don't know. Growing up in West Virginia, and if you went to the state fair, only like the most backwoods people went to there. But I don't know, maybe different here in Florida.
It's quite different, yes.
I guess I'm stigmatized for going there based on that. So just want to promote a couple of listings here. We had come back on the market here. We got a great Fannie Mae property here, 2513 West Palm Drive in South Tampa, just about a block off of Bay Shore. This property listed at $309,900. Nice bungalow-style home built in 1949. It's a 3-bed, 1-bath house. It's been under contract a couple of times and come back. It does need a new roof, but it is a great buy in a great area of South Tampa, just off of Bay Shore. So please reach out to me off the air if you want some information on that. We have been getting a lot of activity on that, and it just came back on the market, so we do expect that one to go quick. Again, that's 2513 West Palm Drive in South Tampa. Also, a new listing up in Concord Station, up in Land O'Lakes, 3228 Hearn Bay Court. 4-bed, 2.5-bath, 2,100 square foot home for $209,900. This is a great first-time buy, and this is the type of home that a lot of investors have been picking up. So this is a great time to purchase that home. Again, reach out to me off the air at tampabayradio.com. If you're just tuning in, you've been listening to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show here on 1250 Wins WHNZ. You'll find this show on every Mondays at noon, and I invite you to please make this a favorite show of yours, as my show aims to become your information source for the Tampa Bay real estate market. You can catch my show again on next week and off the air in the meantime. Get me at tampabayradio.com or on my phone, 813-760-8516. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much.
The opinions, viewpoints, and promises made during the preceding program are not those of WHNZ AM, its staff, management, or parent company.